some of it.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Very close relationship what's their future?
You get to see it really tested. Amos relies on Naomi in a lot of ways, and one of the ways that he relies on her is she's his moral compass. Amos was traumatized, damaged at an early age. He's lost the ability to really connect, to socially interact with people. And so Naomi was such a special relationship for him because she showed him how to behave and interact and what's the right thing to do, and he trusts that. He doesn't trust a lot of things. When that relationship's challenged, you start to learn who Amos really is and how he needs her and what he becomes without her and without that influence. And we really explore that in season 2.
Do you think there's anything that he wouldn't do for Naomi?
No limits. That, when Amos, the difference between this season is it was him and Naomi. And Amos is very tribal in that way. He's very connected to the people that are around him. But since they went through what they went through together, it's broadened to Holden and Alex. And in our relationship grows a lot, and we go through a lot in this second season. But he starts to expand his affection for Naomi and his trust all the way up to the first. Take it easy, brother. All the way up to the rest of the crew of the Rossi.
So looking back at all the stuff that you've gone through, this is the thing that I always find so fascinating about the characters. Would you say this whole thing is well beyond what they originally signed on for?
Oh yeah.
Would you say it's now a sense of justice or revenge that's basically motivating them beyond basic survival?
I think in terms of Amos's character, I think that basic survival is his motivation. He's not. He is not caught up in the concept of justice or revenge. He doesn't feel in that way. That's revenge is an emotional based motivation. He doesn't have that. So for him, he wants to survive. He's not concerned with what's going on around the world or what's going on. He cares about his family, and he's willing to do whatever he has to do to take care of them. But survival is his instinct. It's what's motivating him.
One of the beautiful things about the show and the cast is the characters. Is each of us has such an incredibly different perspective on these events. I mean, if you were to ask Holden, Stevens, is it revenge or like his motivation is completely different than Amos and even Alex. I wouldn't say survival. Alex is heavily motivated by justice and is a very moral character. He believes in people in the family unit. He is very, very tormented by the injustice that has happened to the Belters, and in season 2 he has to deal with the consequences of having witnessed what happened to all of them, and that's going to have a profound effect on him in season 2 and motivate him very highly in the events that unfold in season 2. He really does. He's very empathetic and very sensitive and very concerned with the impact of what's going on all the people around him. And I don't know. I mean, I think actually, I take it as a compliment that Amos kind of finds Alex interesting as a friend, because Amos is such a unique person and is such a unique force. He picks his friends really, really, really selectively because, like you said, he's all about survival. So for him to actually invest energy in someone, which is what happens in season 2, we really do start to develop something. It says something about Alex that Amos has found compelling, which I think is really cool, and that helps me inform my character.
What are you dressed as?
Ashitaka from Princess Mononoke.
What is it?
It's Ashitaka from Princess Mononoke.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was just trying to figure that out. I was like, oh, what's going on?
If you had, are there character traits that you have and that you see in your characters that you wish you had as individuals, or is there anything also that you wish you didn't have or hope you don't get?
I wish I was flying a fighter pilot.
There you are.
Yeah, I wish I was. I wish I was.
I admire the fact how little Amos cares about what other people think, and I think that there's a freedom in that, and sometimes I wish I had that to be free from caring about people's opinion or the need to be liked. What that's interesting to as an actor to play him is the social connection that we have as as I'm talking to you and we're doing this and we're smiling to each other, whatever. He doesn't understand that. He doesn't have that give and take. So it's really funny his point of view, because he can be severely rude to people, but he has no idea that he's being rude, and that's fun to do. That's fun to play when he's doing that. But on the flip side, that's one of the things I wouldn't want to have, because I don't want to be rude to people.
There's more Alex Sanders, I guess I like to call them, like donkey balls.
Yeah, I think you're gonna hear a lot. They're usually trying to tone me down and hold me back when I'm throwing stuff like that in there. Whenever we're in rehearsals, I'll toss out some Texas-ism, and the gang will be like, I don't think this is the opportune time for that particular one.
Yeah, when donkey balls hit, then now you can't shut him up. So he tries to throw something in every line.
That was actually scripted. Yeah. That's the title of that episode.
Yeah.
So I was like, you guys can't stop me from saying donkey balls, because that's the title of this show. So yeah, you couldn't stop me on that one. But no, I'm always looking for an opportunity, because this is a very intense show. This show is incredibly dramatic, and we are all fighting for our lives every single day. And any moment there is to find levity, to find humor, not in a slapstick jokey kind of way, but that's what human beings do. Like, we can't keep pressing on that nerve over and over and over again. It'll go numb. There has to be relief. And we do that in real life. I mean, I haven't participated in the military myself, but I have a lot of military friends, and they tell me about when they're under pressure. They're always looking for things to try and lighten the mood and kind of bring things in perspective for themselves. And I think that's essential to kind of helping people absorb what we're giving them.
Speaking of caring about what other people think, on this show, it's probably the most diverse cast of any show on TV right now. So how does that feel to you compared to the next episode? Probably hasn't been nearly as diverse, and the responsibility you have for being in that show.
I'm proud of that fact. I'm proud of that fact because I think on a lot of different levels, but I think ultimately it's a realistic look. You know, mathematically, you look at, you know, if we're evolving in the way we're evolving and we colonize these places and you know, humans do what humans do, that's what we're probably going to start to look like. I mean, I think it's a realistic look of how it is, which I think is interesting, because now that's the separation of that is gone. Now it's planetism, you know. It's like it's planets against each other. So it's interesting how we'll always find those separations. We'll always find those. We're tribal in nature like that. So
I'm with Wes. I'm incredibly proud. I mean, as someone who has had to deal with that type of casting my whole career, to be part of a show where my race and my ethnicity have absolutely nothing to do with the character, even though it exists. He is of Pakistani Indian descent. Mixed in with Texan, because those are the original colonizers of Mars. It hasn't come up once in an episode, and it's never referred to because it's irrelevant. And to go one step further, if you look at the casting on this show, all of our females, if you look at Abba Sarala, Naomi, Julie Mao, and now Bobby Draker, all non-white females. Name one show that has nothing to do with ethnicity, where all your females are non-white and don't have a male around which they're revolving. Like, the diversity is not just about skin color. The show has taken it to another level, and that I'm hugely, hugely proud of.